good afternoon. So we have in my previous class we have completed up to page number 40 and we are continuing with the chapter the rat trap. So only Sujata, okay. So let's recapitulate what we have done. So we have seen that the daughter of the iron master insisted the Rattrap peddler to come to their house and to just enjoy the Christmas Eve with them. Okay. So the Rattrap peddler at first he denied, but then he just agreed to come to their house. Then when he was being cleaned up, his truth was revealed in front of the iron master, and the iron master realized that he had done the mistake. He mistook him as his old acquainted friend. Then the iron master made him afraid and he wanted to call the police, the sheriff. Okay. So what happened after that? The Rattrap peddler explained his own idea that this world is just similar to just like a rat trap. It is just as similar as a rat trap. Why? Because the rat trap also offers bait to the rat, and when it get attracted by any food, then he used to get trapped in the rat trap. Even the human beings also get attracted by the offers, by the bets of good things, comforts in this world. So when they used to get attracted by this, they used to get trapped in a snare, and after that this led to all his misfortune. Okay. So he just explained that this world is just like a rat trap. So what happened after that? And even he warned him not to call the police. Why? Because one day would come, the iron master would also get attracted by any good thing and he would also get trapped. Okay. So this was his idea that we have done in our previous class. We have completed up to this. So let's start from page number 40 from second para. The iron master began to laugh. So the iron master did not like the peddler's idea. Okay, what idea? The idea of the comparison between the rat trap with this world. So he thinks that this world is just like a rat trap. That was not so badly said, my good fellow. Perhaps we should let the sheriff alone on Christmas Eve, but now get out of here as fast as you can. So as the iron master did not like the peddler's words and decided not to call the sheriff, he asked the peddler to leave at once from their house. But just as the man was opening the door, the daughter said, I think he ought to stay with us today. I don't want him to go. So as the Rattrap peddler was just going to open the door because he wanted to move out during that time, he was ordered also by the iron master to get away from their house. Then and there the daughter came and he insisted the Rattrap peddler to stay with them for that day. I don't want him to go, and with that she went and closed the door. Even she told to her father that she did not want that this stranger would go away. Why? Because she insisted him to come to their house and to have the Christmas Eve and to pass a good Christmas Eve with them. Okay. What in the world are you doing? Said the father. The father did not want the idea, did not like the idea of his daughter. The daughter stood there quite embarrassed and hardly knew what to answer. So she did not have anything to say. That morning she had felt so happy when she thought how homelike and Christmassy she was going to make things for the poor hungry wretch. So this time she was feeling compassionate. She sympathized with this Rattrap peddler who was in a very distressed condition, and she wanted to make the peddler's day happy on the occasion of Christmas Eve. Okay, and she wanted to make something good for this miserable person who was in a very distressed condition. She could not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabond. So she went against her father and wanted to do something, and for that she intervened. She stopped the vagabond, the tramp, the rat-trap peddler by closing the door. Interceded means intervene, to stop. I am thinking of this stranger here, said the young girl. So she tried to explain the different problem faced by the peddler. So I am thinking of this stranger here, said the young girl. He walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. So the young lady is feeling compassionate, feeling just pity for this miserable tramp, for this miserable vagabond, because he did not have any shelter, he did not have any money to afford his food also. He was suffering from malnutrition. Okay, so he was feeling sympathized for this person, and she is explaining like that. He walks and walks the whole year long. As she did not have any fixed permanent shelter, she used to move throughout the year, here and there, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome. So nobody is kind to him. Okay, nobody welcomed him and can feel at home. So he did not feel any comfort, or he just did not feel any comfort in anyone's house. Okay, rather he was welcomed by this young lady in this house. Wherever he returns, he is chased away. So wherever he used to go, he is chased away. Even he is afraid of being arrested by the police and cross-examined. So I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. So the young lady wanted that he should spend, or he should enjoy at least a day, at least a single day of peace with them, just one in the whole year. The iron master mumbled something in his beard. Mumbled means spoke softly. He could not bring himself to oppose her. That means he was trying to stop his daughter, but he did not, and he was not able to find any answer, any explanation to the daughter. It was all a mistake, of course, he continued. But anyway, I don't think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here and to whom we have promised a Christmas cheer. So the young lady is explaining, she was explaining to her father that as they have just welcomed this stranger, they mistook him as his old acquainted friend and invited him as his guest in their house. So they should not, just as they have promised to give a good Christmas day, a good Christmas with them, so he should not be moved away. He should not be, his father should not, or the iron master should not make him away from their house. Okay, so he was feeling sympathized, she was feeling pity on that rat-trap peddler. You do preach worse than a person. Person means the church worshipper, or the church the church person who used to just worship the God. So you do preach worse than a person, said the iron master. I only hope you won't have to regret this. So the iron master explaining to his daughter that as she had decided that this stranger must stay in their house, this should bring any adverse effect. The young girl took the stranger by the hand and led him up to the table. So the young girl offered him some food on the dining table. Now sit down and eat, she said, for she could see that her father had given him. So now she could understand that her father consented to her decision. The man with the rat trap said not a word. He only sat down and helped himself to the food. So he started to eat. Time after time, he looked at the young girl who had interceded for him. Why had she done it? What could the crazy idea be? So now the peddler, he became doubtful about this young lady. Why? He was wondering why she had interceded him, why she had stopped him. Though the iron master make him away from the house, he decided to throw him out of the house. Then why the young lady, the daughter of the iron master, stopped him to stay in their house? After that, Christmas Eve at Ramsor passed just as it always had. The stranger did not cause any trouble because he did nothing but sleep. So the stranger did not cause any harm to anyone. He started to sleep. The whole forenoon he lay on the sofa in one of the guest room and slept at one stretch. So he was sleeping while lying down on the sofa on the guest room. At noon they woke him up so that he could have his share of the good Christmas fare. But after that he slept again. So what he had done in the afternoon, he was woke up and he had his lunch, and after that he slept again. It seemed as though for many years he had not been able to sleep as quietly and safely as here at Ramsor. So it was like this, that as if he had never got the chance to sleep as he had got at this place. In the evening, when the Christmas tree was lighted, so as they had to light the Christmas tree, they woke him up again. He stood for a while in the drawing room, blinking as though the candlelight hurt him, but after that he disappeared again. So they had to gather in the drawing room to light the Christmas tree, and when he was standing in the drawing room while lighting the Christmas tree, so he was getting disturbed by the light of the candle. 2 hours later he was aroused once more. So finally they called him again. He then had to go down into the dining room. Again he went to the dining room to have his dinner and eat the Christmas feast and porridge. So at dinner, what he had eaten? The Christmas feast and fish and porridge. As soon as they got up from the table, he went around to each one present and said thank you and good night. So after the dinner was over, the peddler just went around to each one of them and thanked everyone, okay, and said good night. But when he came to the young girls, he gave him to understand that it was her father's intention that the suit which he wore was to be a Christmas present. He did not have to return it. So the girl informed the peddler that the suit which he was wearing, it was actually the Christmas gift given by her father, and he did not have to return this. And if he wanted to spend the next Christmas Eve in a place where he could rest in peace and be sure that no evil would befall him, and he would be welcome back again. So if he would want, then he could also come back to the same place and could just pass the Christmas just like that particular day, and even he was promised that nothing bad would happen to him. So it was a promise by the young lady to that Rattrap peddler. The man with the rat traps did not answer anything to this. He only stared at the young girl in boundless amazement. So the man did not have anything to say, and he was only looking at the young girl with wondering, just with limitless wonder. The next morning, the iron master and his daughter got up in good season to go to the early Christmas service. So it was all over, the Christmas Eve over. Now the day Christmas, 25th December, it had arrived, and now they have gone for the iron master and his daughter. They went to the church. Their guest was still asleep, so the Rattrap peddler was still sleeping. They did not disturb him. When at about 10 o'clock they drove back for the church. So they were just going to have a visit to the church. The young girl sat and hung her head even more dejectedly than usual. So she was feeling sad, and she was just praying in front of the God in the church. At church she had learned that one of the old crafters of the iron works had been robbed by a man who went around selling rat traps. So at church the ironmaster and his daughter, they were informed that there was a robbery in the old crofter's house who used to work in the iron mill, and he was robbed by a person who used to sell rat traps. Yes, that was a fine fellow you let into the house, said the father. So the father said that it was his daughter who insisted him to stay him in their house. But I only wonder how many silver spoons are left in the cupboard by this time. So he was wondering how many silver spoons had stolen by this rat trap peddler. The wagon had hardly stopped at the front steps when the ironmaster asked the valet whether the stranger was still there. So when they just reached their house during that time, they inquired from their valet, their personal attendant, that whether the stranger was still there or not. He added that he had heard at church that the man was a thief. Even he informed to the valet that they got the information about this peddler that he was actually a thief and he robbed from the house of the old crofter. The valet answered that the fellow had gone and that he had not taken anything with him at all. So the valet replied that the rat trap peddler had gone away without taking anything with him. On the contrary, he had left behind a little package which Miss Wilmanson was to be kind enough to accept as a Christmas present. So instead of taking something, he had given a small Christmas gift, a small Christmas present for this Miss Wilmanson. The young girl opened the gift. So Edla opened the package, which was so badly done up, which was roughly packed, and that the contents came into view at once. So anyone could easily guess what was inside it. So she gave a little cry of joy. She found a small trap, and in it lay 3 wrinkled 10 notes. So when she opened the package, she found there was a small rat trap, and inside it there were 3 notes. But that was not all. In the rat trap lay also a letter written in large jagged characters. So in large big handwriting, the rat trap had written something in a letter, and the letter was kept inside the rat trap. Honored and noble miss, since you have been so nice to me all day long as if I was a captain, I want to be nice to you in return as if I was a real captain. So the rat trap peddler had written a letter, and the letter reads like this. He had written that the young lady, the daughter of the iron master, had taken care of him as if he was a real captain. For I do not want you to be embarrassed at this Christmas season by a thief. So he revealed his identity, that actually he was a rat trap peddler, but he had committed a crime. He had done the robbery. But you could give back the money, the old man to the roadside, who has the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bait for the poor wanderers. He also requested that this lady should return back to that house of that old crofter and return the money which was there in the leather pouch, and it was hanging in the just nail beside the window of his house. The rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat who would have been caught in the world's rat trap if he had not been raised to captain, because in that way he got the power to clear himself. Written with friendship and high regard, Captain Von Stell. So he said that if it was she who let him just free from the rat trap by raising his status from a rat trap peddler to a captain. At last he undersigned as Captain Von Stell. So this young lady helped to transform the rat trap peddler into a good human being. And the word rat trap is itself a metaphor. Why? Because the rat trap is compared with the whole world. The comforts of our life, these are all the baits, just the baits which are offered in a rat trap. So when we used to just get attracted, when we used to just get tempted by this, we will fall in a trap, we would fall in a snare. This would lead to our misfortune. Okay, so this is how we ended up this chapter. We have come to an end to the chapter, and we found there was a transformation of this Rattrap peddler, who was actually a peddler then, and he used to spend his life as he was a vagabond. He used to wander here and there, he used to sometimes steal and beg, and after that he transformed by this young lady. When the young lady invited him, just cared for him just like a captain, and after that he went away, leaving the money, the 30 runner, and with a rat trap that he had given her as a Christmas present. Okay. Okay. Anything, any question? I have ended up the chapter. Next day we would move to the next chapter. Thank you. Just go through it.